Well, hello there, Quirky Birders. It's Lynn here, and welcome to episode 4 of your daily art challenge. So today we're going to be putting the final few details in of our lovely little beach scene here. So we're going to just be working on just some of the finer little details. But to begin with, I'm going to start by putting in some extra colour on the sea here. So for the extra colour that I'm going to apply, I'm going to be using a deep blue. And again, I'm going to be using the rigger brush for these details, because I feel that using the rigger brush you can get it fine enough to add in all the little details that you want. So I've just mixed a little bit of the deep blue with a touch of white, and that's the colour that I'm going to use to add just some extra highlights to the actual sea. So I'm just going to come along the horizon line right the way along, and then just using the rigger brush, just using it quite flat, you can actually add in those extra darker details to the sea. Again, just wet the brush just to get that paint moving ever so slightly. Just be careful when you come down towards the fence posts. And the bush. Like so. And that just gives us the effect of you can see we've kept the paint coming a little bit paler, so we've got lovely little hints of white where we've got the sea crashing in. Now I'm going to do the same with the hill. So I'm going to use some of the olive green again, because I just want to keep it fairly muted. I'm going to add in a little hint of white into that colour. So I've just got a nice sort of pale olive green. And I'm just going to work at the very top of those cliffs. And again, just keeping it nice and loose, just bring those details down on the cliffs. Again, just using the paper to show through in places. And just get that colour as close to the actual cottage as I dare. And then we'll do the same just along the top here. And also at the side of the cottage. I'm just going to mix in a little bit of brown. I'm going to mix into the brown, into the yellow that I had before, just to get that lovely warm tone. And then using the fan brush, we'll just introduce a third colour. Along this line here. Like so. And then we can just, using a little bit of the grey, just soften that edge. And it's just these little details that make all the difference to your painting. So we've got some nice details now along the roadway. Just going to bring that shadow line just a little way along there. And then also just put in a little bit of shading along the detail of the cottage. So just pop those details in on the actual wall. So it really is beginning to come together really quite nicely now. We'll just mix up a little bit of Payne's Grey again. This time with a drop of blue, just to get that nice sort of steely colour. So you've just got that lovely sort of steely grey. We're just going to come along the ridgeline of the roof of our cottage now. And just come down the left hand side, but just keep it a little bit lighter, just coming down the left hand side. You just want that darker colour from the right hand side of your painting. Just bring in the roof line along the edge where the cliff is as well. Lovely. Okay. Now the next thing that we're going to do is just introduce a little bit of brightness. And I'm probably going to stick with the yellows as well. So I've just got the Brilliant Yellow. And again, I'm just going to use the little fan brush. So just loading that up with the yellow paint, dabbing off the excess. And then I'm just going to fold the bristles around and hold the brush a little awkwardly. And just put a little bit of yellow into that area. The next colour I'm going to apply is a little bit of crimson red. And again, just using that fan brush. Just loading it up. Folding those bristles over. And just putting a couple of little red dots into the foreground, like so. We can do the same, just coming over here. And then just add some little bits of darker grasses just along the base of that fence. I'm just going to use just a wet rigger brush just to extend that green. And then we'll pop the same dark green just along that edge there. And then again, just with that rigger brush, just extend those leaves. Now you're still painting in the abstract style, so you just need to keep things really quite nice and loose. You don't have to worry too much about the element of realism. I'm just going to scribble my way around these red flowers here. Again, just using the tip of a wet rigger brush. Just give that effect. These are going to be roses once we put the ink details in, so I just want it to just have that little softer look about it. Just got a blob of water on my painting, so I'm just going to lift that up with a dry brush. And then we just need to put just another little bit of detail into our little bush. So I'm going to use some of the leaf green, as well as some of the peak green. And let's just put a little bit of burnt umber in there too. That's it. And again, I'm just going to just scribble just a little bit of shape into this bush. Again, just using the rigger brush, keeping things nice and loose. Just want a little bit of extra definition within the actual bush. Looking lovely. And let's just put a little bit, let's put some little grass is just to the base of the tree. And one last little bit of detail with the fan brush, just taking up some of that green mix. Let's put them stems in for those poppies that are in the hedgerow. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That now just needs to dry, and then we can actually add in some of the ink details tomorrow. I do hope you're enjoying this process, and I certainly hope that you've got something very, very similar on your paper at the moment. As always, I'm around if you have any questions, so please do not hesitate to message me, and I shall see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye.